Serious, what is the creepiest or most unexplained thing that's happened to you that you still think about to this day? A few years ago, I was at my lowest point in life. Several people close to me had passed away unexpectedly, I was being bullied every day at my job, my life was falling apart. I was past being depressed, I just couldn't imagine waking up another day. So I'd planned my suicide, bought a one-way plane ticket, got sleeping pills, and wrote a series of suicide notes. On the day I was to fly out to fulfill my plan, there was a terrible accident on the freeway to the airport. It was shut down both ways. So I drove into a nearby pub to have a beer and wait out the traffic. The second I sat on the patio with my drink, a gentleman asked if he could sit with me. Whatever, I thought, sure, who cares? He told me that whatever I was doing next was a terrible idea and I would regret it. I thought, who is this random fucker? But I listened. He said that he sensed I was in pain, but that I had an incredible life ahead of me, and that this was not the way my story was supposed to end. Again, I'd never met this guy in my life, and hadn't mentioned a word to him about my plan. He asked me to hand him my keys and my wallet, and he'd give them back to me after I talked and he listened. I poured my heart out to this random guy. Told him all my traumas and pains in life and why I was heading to the airport on a one-way ticket to kill myself in a cemetery across the country where my family was buried. He just listened. And then he pulled out a lighter, asked me to pull out my suicide letters and helped me burn them. He told me I was worth so much to the world and that after I finished my drink, I needed to head home and get some sleep. He told me I was going to be okay tomorrow, and I believed him. He then gave me my keys and wallet back. I left that afternoon and went home, hugged my family. Got some sleep, and the next day, I started working on myself, finding a therapist, a new job. Years later, I'm in a fantastic place in life, so far from where I was that day. To this day, no one in my life knows how close I came to killing myself. But this random stranger just somehow understood me. And saved my life. I never saw him again, I don't even know his name. It's the most unexplained thing that has ever happened to me. And I think about that guy every day, so, thank you, kind stranger, for saving my life that random September day on a pub patio. I don't know why I am posting this, but maybe it is because you are perhaps one of the few people who will understand. I once had something similar happen to me. I had planned to jump off a bridge near where I live. I was dead set on killing myself. I was just out of energy and love. I had no more life to give, if that makes any sense. It was right before Christmas, and it was snowing. I stopped at a hotel near the bridge to mooch off their Wi-Fi to finish my suicide notes. I was just about done when my battery died. Fine. I checked into a room to charge my laptop. As I was waiting, I began to get hungry. I felt burdened by the hunger, more annoyed than anything, so I decided to get something to eat. This hotel was located in a small town, and the only restaurant was right next door. I was over, and there was a closed sign on the door, but the lights were on, and I could hear people inside, so I go in. A gray-haired man came out of the back and told me that him and the employees were having a Christmas party, but their chef could whip something up. I go into the main dining room, and wait around a while before getting up to grab myself a beer. This big black guy comes out from the kitchen and asks me what I want to eat. I tell him that a burger and fries would do, or whatever is easiest for him. I go sit down in a booth and ponder what a big black guy is doing out in the middle of nowhere. The area we were in is pretty close-minded. Anyhow, he comes out from the kitchen with a burger, fries, another beer, and one for himself. He promptly sits down and joins me. My thoughts for my suicide note are promptly pushed away, as I become annoyed by his presence. He begins talking to me, telling me about his life. Just filling silence, you know? Then, he tells me that what I am about to do is a big mistake. If I don't care about living, why not do exactly what made me happy? Why not do all of the things I had been meaning to do but put off for work, for solving other people's problems? He said a lot of other things too, some of which felt like he knew me and felt a bit foreboding, but in a good way, like somehow he knew that I would overcome all this suffering and lead a good life. By the end of the conversation, I was too exhausted to finish my note. I decided to finish it in the morning. When I woke up, I decided to give myself 1 year. Just 1 year to try everything that man suggested. I decided to really truly do everything I could to be happy, to really give my all to doing the things I had been putting off. I decided to walk next door and see if I could find him or at least leave him a note. When I walked in, no one knew what I was talking about. There was no Christmas party. No black guy had ever worked there and they closed at 5 p.m. the evening before due to the weather. I walked away stunned, but I couldn't really say surprised. The whole evening seemed surreal. To this day, I have no idea who that man was. I only know that I owe him my life. The changes that I made that year after I met him eventually led to me meeting my husband and having my son. We stopped there on a summer road trip this past year, and I cried when I realized how close I came to ending my life. I can't imagine not knowing my husband or my son. I think of that man often, and I call him my angel. Frankly, I don't care if he is or not, but he will always be the angel that saved my life. I hope someday I can pass it on.